Guys, today I'm going to discuss about polyprotic acid, weak acid, right? So, say for example, if I'm having H2SO4 and H3PO4. Now, if we check them, this is also a polyprotic, means more than one H plus ion is there, right? And here also we have more than one H plus ion. But you can see there is only one terminal oxygen. Means if you remove the H plus ion, the conjugate base will be stabilized by only one double bond O and rest. Whereas if we'll talk about this, if you remove this, the negative ion will be stabilized by this. That is the reason why H2SO4 is a powerful acid, very strong acid, and this is a weak acid. So I'm going to discuss about that, because for this it will completely ionize, 100% ionization, but not will be the case with H3PO4. So for making it easier to understand, I will take certain values of Ka1, 2, and 3, which may not match with the real value. Okay, so I'll just take an approximation over here. So guys, H3PO4 is a polyprotic weak acid. So how you are supposed to establish the equilibrium in aqueous solution? So in aqueous solution, it will undergo ionization as H plus aqueous plus H2PO4 minus aqueous Ka1. This is Ka1. Similarly, guys, we have H2PO4 minus H plus aqueous plus HPO4 minus 2. This is Ka2. And similarly, the last portion means third ionization will be simply H plus aqueous PO4 minus 3. I told you in the last video that the H plus in the solution will not be in free form, rather it will be existing in the form of H3O and even higher order of this, like even that will combine with water, you will get H5O2 plus and like that dot. But here I have just reported as aqueous. Now the next thing is, okay, I will assign some realistic values, guys. So I took the first dissociation constant as Ka1, second as Ka2, and third as Ka3. Now, for taking a realistic value, I would like to take these values as -4, although the actual value of this first dissociation constant is higher than this 10 to the power, of the order of 10 to the power -3. But I'm taking just to make the calculation portion easier. And suppose second dissociation will be even more difficult, right? Because once you have ionized, this have already become minus. So it is quite difficult to remove the H plus from di-negative ion, right? So -7. The third will be absolutely difficult. So I'm taking that to be -10. Now, by looking at these values, right, you can very clearly say, since Ka1 is far, far greater than Ka2, which is far, far greater than Ka3. So with the help of that, what we can say, again, for making it more realistic, I'll take some concentration. Say, for example, I took C. So C minus X, it will be X and X. And because you can see this is a common ion, right? So whatever the X that is formed here, some portion of it will dissociate. And the moment I'm writing some portion will dissociate, I have to write over here also. And this will form Y, and this will be Y, because Y is dissociated from X. Now this Y, which I have taken, and the X which was already there, so this will be actually X plus Y. So overall I'll write as X plus Y over here and X plus Y over here. Again, You can see the common and over here. So out of y, some portion of it will be definitely dissociating and we will get z. And you're looking at the common and x plus y and z. What I can write as x plus y plus z here and plus z here. Now everything is over, whatever the assumption that I wanted to take. Just here also the common and so it will be y minus z. Now from here we need to take certain approximation to make it easier. And what are those? By looking at the equilibrium constant value, as they are all much less than, right, much less than 10 to the power minus 4, what I can say, this x value will not be very, very great, right? So C will be much greater than x because the amount of x, because equilibrium constant is so poor, the forward divided by, the product divided by reactant ratio will dominate in terms of reactant. So almost no dissociation, right? Very marginal dissociation. So C minus x will be approximately C, and x is far, far greater than y, as you can see. Few part of this x is broken in as y. Looking at the equilibrium constant, which is far less, we can say that y will be very less as compared to x. And similarly, y will be very, very greater than z. Now, with the help of this, what we can conclude, because we have to make this equation as simple as possible. By looking at all three, you cannot solve it easily, right? So what I'll do, I'll take this C minus x will be approximately C, because C is much greater than that of x. Similarly, this x plus y plus z will be equal to, because x is very, very greater than y and y is greater than z. So these two terms will be negligible as compared to x. So I will simply write it as x. Similarly, x minus y will be approximately x and y minus z will be approximately y. So here, the whole thing, whatever we have written over here, that we can conclude with the help of the above, assumptions, that this value will be simply, we can write here in place of this as C. We can write in place of this as x. We can write in place of this as simply x. We can write here as x, and this will be again x. By looking at this value y minus z, it will be simply y. Right? By looking at these y minus z, I can simply write as y. By looking at this value, I can write simply as x. Whatever I did, now our entire thing is over. Now this have become a very simple equation. I can simply solve by one. One more thing you can understand, because the value of x is far, far greater than y and z. So overall H plus ion concentration, is simply x, which is the amount dissociated from the very first reaction. So if somehow if the pH is asked for this reaction, don't write even these two. Okay, you are supposed to calculate from the very first equation only, because the x value will be far greater than y. Now I'll simply apply by first equilibrium. That means Ka1 will be equal to x into x divided by c. So from here we got x square is equal to c into Ka1. So x value will be simply c into Ka1. From here you can calculate the pH, because x is known, you can get the value of H plus ion. Now suppose in the examination they are asking, no, I want the concentration of this also. I want the concentration of this also. Then it is simple, very easy. Now by second, what we can write? Y into x divided by x means this into this divided by this will be equilibrium constant Ka2. Can you see this? The value of x and x will be getting cancelled out. Y is simply nothing but HPO4 minus 2 concentration. That will be simply Ka2. So this doesn't depend on. So you can see here, because this is nothing but H plus N also. So pH will depend on the concentration, right? Whereas the concentration of HPO4 minus 2 will not depend on that because it is directly equal to K2. Likewise, for the third reaction, Y into X upon, Z into X upon Y. You know X already, substitute it here. You already know how much Y is, Ka2, you substitute here. Then only variable is Z that you can calculate with the help of this. So this is how we used to calculate for polyprotic acid. We can dictate this with the help of an example. A very popular example is the case of H2S. Say for example, H2S is having the Ka1 and Ka2 values as 10 to the power minus 7 and as minus 14. I'm just considering these two figures. Now, if the concentration is 0.1 molar, then what is the pH of its aqueous solution? So how to solve it? So very simple. The moment it comes about pH, then as I told you, you are supposed to simply look at the very first reaction. Not even, there is no need even looking at the second reaction. If you wish, you can go, but there is no need. Right? So this will be simply 10 to the power minus 14, which I wrote. If you want, we can repeat the whole procedure once again, but I would like to say that let us assume over here, and then x minus y, y and y, this will be y plus x, this will be x plus y, which again, by looking at equilibrium constant, since Ka1 is very, very greater than Ka2, x is very, very greater than y. So x minus y will be x, x plus y will be x. So simply substitute. So here it will be x, here it will be x, and here it will be 0.1. Now let us calculate by first, yani Ka1 is equal to minus 7, and that is equal to x into x divided by 0.1. From here, what we figured out, x square is equal to 10 to the power minus 8. So x is equal to 10 to the power minus 4. Now you check point whether your assumption is correct. So look at this, x is far greater than, x is far less than 0.1. So that's why 0.1 minus this value will be approximately 0.1. So this assumption is correct. Now if you want to calculate y, this is x actually, this is x actually. So y into x by equation 2 I'm taking, right? That will be equal to Ka2, that is simply minus 14. So y simply came out to be 10 to the power minus. Now you can see x value was minus 4. Y is 10 to the power minus 14. Is our assumption correct? Yes, x is far, 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 far greater than y. Now when it comes to pH, concentration of H plus ion is x, which is 10 to the power minus 4. So what is pH? Simply 4 minus log H plus ion. So that's how we are supposed to, go through it. Now this is the case which I took, is a pure case of weak acid. I took this and then I did the whole thing. Okay, sometimes the same question is asked in the other way. Like suppose they gave you Na2S, suppose they gave you 1 mole, which is present in 1 liter. Now to make it H2S, how many moles of H plus ion do I need to provide? 2 mole. So what I will take, I will add 2 mole of HCl into it. Then this Na2S will basically become, by reacting with this, it will become H2S and it will generate NaCl, 2 moles. And you know that Na and Cl are waste species because they can't hydrolyze anything. Again, we got the same 1 mole per liter, and then I can proceed H2S in the same way. So this is the case which I took as how to discuss about the polyprotic acid. Very, very simple. Again, let me conclude what you are supposed to do. This is the core thing of this entire discussion. This is the core thing. That since the value of K1, K2, K3 is of this order, so C is of this order, we can approximate. This approximation is the core thing. If you could understood this, there is no point that you can't solve the question based on this polyprotic acid. No matter how tough the question is, you can solve it. Now coming to, the hydrolysis of the salt generated complete neutralization, after complete neutralization. So I took H3PO4 and I treated this with NaOH in such a way that entire of this H3PO4 is converted into Na3PO4. So how it will be possible? When I will treat 1 mole of this with 3 mole of this, then only it will be possible. So 1:3 ratio. If suppose 1 mole I took and 3 mole I took, then it will be 0, 0, and you will get entirely 1 mole of this and plus 3 mole of water, which I don't anyway need to consider. Now this is known to you, right? Na3PO4. So what will be the pH? Because this is a salt, it is having a cation, which is a waste ion, which will not hydrolyze water. PO4 -3 is a very core thing of discussion. Guys, please understand, I am not talking about if what will happen if 1 mole is taken with this, because 1 mole is taken with this, it will generate entirely different species, which I'll discuss later on. So now how to tackle this? That's very, very simple. So we had PO4 -3, right? Some concentration of PO4 -3. Basically the salt Na3PO4, the only active species that will hydrolyze. So this is a simple case of anion hydrolysis. We will get step-by-step hydrolysis. First you accept one H plus ion, then you accept another H plus ion from water during hydrolysis, right? And then you accept another H plus ion, this is KH1, this is KH2, this is KH3. Means what I'm writing, hydrolysis constant 1 and 2 and 3. Now one thing that you are supposed to do, because sometimes they will give you the 3 dissociation constant of this triprotic acid, Ka1, Ka2 and Ka3. This will be given to you. Most probably they will not give KH1, KH2, KH3. Now if you know this, you will realize one thing, that this time Ka1 multiply by KH3 will be equal to Kw. Similarly, Ka3 multiplied by KH1 will be equal to Kw. I can show you, and at the last, Ka2 and KH2 will be equal to. So I'll show you how. See, Ka1 means a reaction showing the first step dissociation, right? H plus plus H2PO4 minus. This is Ka1. And what was KH3? KH3, you can see the last step of hydrolysis, means these two ions. Why? Because see, these two ions present here also. So that's why I'm saying compare one with the third one. So hydrolysis, if you'll write, that means H2PO4, the last step. So what you are going to get? H3PO4 along with OH negative ion. So this is KH3. Now you simply add them. So that will become H2O giving H plus plus OH minus, which is Kw. So if you are adding 1 and 2, you are getting 3. Then that means the equilibrium constant have the relation. So like that you can, derive for everything. So we have this, then we have got KH3 is equal to Kw by Ka1, that I'll simply write over here. This will be Kw by Ka3, Kw by Ka2, Kw by Ka1. In case if it is required, we will use it. Now, how to calculate the whole thing? Right, how to calculate the equilibrium, how to calculate the pH. All right. Now suppose we are considering the previous value itself, like Ka1 as 10 to the power minus 4, Ka2 as minus 7 and Ka3 as 10 to the power minus, and this is minus 10. Suppose I am taking like this. Now what we are supposed to do here? Ka1 like this, Ka2 like this, Ka3 like this. So Kh1, we can do. Kw means 10 to the power minus 14 divided by Ka3, which is minus 10. So we got minus 4. Like that you can do it. You will get minus 4 and then minus 7 and then you will get minus 10 if I'm right. Now isn't it very similar to the very first case? Now this time it will be C and C minus X and X and X. And again X minus Y, Y and Y. This will be X minus Y common n. And this Y and common n, right? Similarly, this will be Y minus Z. This will be Z. This will be Z. So Z plus X plus Y, and everywhere you add simply Z plus Z. Now again the same assumption. Again the same assumption. As I told you, it will be Z. Again the same assumption. Which one? That since KH1 is far greater than KH2, than KH3. So clearly the first dissociation means X is far greater than Y, greater than Z. You can simply write all these approximations over here and you can simply calculate. Once again, you will see that the value of X plus Y plus Z will be equal to how much? X means from the very first step. Now, if you have to calculate OH ion, you can use the first equation, means whole value is X. This whole value is X. This value is C. Then again, you will get X into X by using first C is equal to KH1, which is simply KW by Ka3. So from here, X square is equal to C times of KW by Ka3. X value is equal to root over C into KW by. So once it is known, whatever the ion you want, it is completely similar to that. So in today's video, I discussed both the things, how to look at the hydrolysis of something which is having more than one negative ion, provided it do not have any acidic hydrogen. Okay, so how to use this, that we have discussed over here. Now, can we apply this whole thing for this H2PO4 minus? Suppose if that salt is given, answer is no, because this is not a pure negative ion, because it have tendency for both. It can ionize also, and it can hydrolyze also. So such type of species which can have tendency of both, and in a good way, that particular species is said to be amphiprotic anion. Means it is just like amphoteric thing. It can behave as acid, it can hydrolyze water also as a base. So for this species, we are having entirely different way of calculating. For this species, the value of pH will be simply here Ka2 and here it will be Kw by Ka1. So pH will be simply pKa1 plus pKa2 whole divided by 2. This is an expression you need to remember. Suppose what will happen if I have the situation like this for this? Suppose some C molar. One interesting thing you can see here, there is no concentration independent of dilution. Right? No concentration, no meaning of any. Like that for this one. So if you write the dissociation, it will be simply Ka3. And if you write the hydrolysis equation, this is little lengthy process of derivation. So right now I don't want to go into it. Right, just one mistake I did in the above. That will be OH minus. Negative will generate OH minus, right? Similarly here also OH minus plus H2PO4 minus. Now this will be basically KH2. So this will be KW by Ka2. Now here pH for this solution will be pK average of second and third. pK 3/2. So very simple. If this is there, you apply this. If this species is there, you apply this. That's how you are supposed to calculate if pure this species is there, right? And if it is PO4 minus 3, which is just an anion which can hydrolyze water, it do not have any H plus ion to donate. For this, I have already told you how to apply the salt hydrolysis equation, right? Refer this. So that's all about the amphiprotic anion and the other species of polyprotic acid. So in the next video, I'll be discussing about buffer, guys. That's all. Thank you.